So now we're going to come back to the United States. We're going to go up to the state of Idaho, and we're going to have Dwayne on the program. Now, Dwayne and I, we've been friends for a number of years. He's been like another dad to our family and a grandpa. We've fished together. We've hung out a lot. I've known him for a lot of years, but he's had some he's in the transformation process right now. And we talked about it earlier, and I think you're going to be blown away by the way that he's able to articulate what he's going through right now, and maybe some of the fears and some of those things, and what's been happening with him as a result of being here with part of the Limbic Arc and the Quantum Nomads. Are you with us, Dwayne?
Yes, I sure am.
Terrific, man. Well,
glad to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna let you go, because we had the conversation a little bit earlier, and it was right in your wheelhouse. You were tracking with it, so I'm just gonna let you go, man. Just share with us your transformation.
All right, and feel free, please, to pull me back if I go off to the side somewhere. I'm going to start out by saying the discovery that happens to you here is that not too far into doing this, I'm 2.5 months old now in this, and the discovery for me has been a gradual, insightful discovery that there's much more to this than meets the eye, much more to this than we can almost imagine. It's greater than we are, and it's putting us in touch with our whole being, not just our mind. I'm 72 years old, striving to get to be 72 years old. I've been a man of many different things, and never found contentment or happiness like I'm beginning to find now. And one of the things I was aware of as I did the long walk through life is that, and it took a while to admit this to myself, is that there was no accident, there was no coincidence in my life. Not anything could be categorized that way. Everything that happened to me was purposeful. I think I participated in it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I was at the source of it, and I didn't know that. It was real easy at times during that long walk to push the blame out there and blame somebody else or some circumstance or some illness for what I was suffering and why I wasn't achieving the successes that I wanted to succeed at, the things that I wanted to achieve. Well, network marketing became attractive. I've been in several network marketing companies, and the first one of significance, I won't name the company, but I was hired as a marketer to help some of the guys at the very top in that company. And boy, my eyes were opened as to what the differences are in many of the different companies that are out there. There's nothing wrong with network marketing, not a thing, especially when you compare it to living on Social Security, which is not enough. And in some countries, there is no Social Security. So network marketing is a viable at-home business that we can all work at. This call today isn't about network marketing. It's about the discovery that people like me are making as a result of being attached to what I think is the very best business model yet that I have seen, and probably the last one I'll even take a look at. Not because of my age, but because of my desire to stay with this one. And because I'm learning so much about myself. I use the term about myself, self-consciousness. It all takes place up here. That's where our self is at. But the discovery here, you will find this. Some of you already, this is what's causing your transformation, is that there is much more to our being human than what's in this brain. The brain is just a muscle, an interpretive muscle, if you want to put it that way. And it regulates our body. It makes our body continue to live. If your brain goes dead, you're dead, at least from this realm. And I'm a spiritual man. I'm a believer. I believe in Christ. And you know, I had apprehensions when I first looked at this. There's lots of different ways of looking at this. We've got people from all over the world on here with many different belief patterns. And as I'm open to the changes that are happening in me, and I see the improvements in my body integrity and the ability to manage different things that might be dysfunctional in me, I'm also aware that a lot is happening to my self-consciousness, to my whole being consciousness is a better way to put it. A lot is happening to me that I didn't ask for. It's just getting better. I'm waking up to something, and I'm happier. Right now, thank you, Ron. Ron holds up the big yes, and I love that about Ron. And the color yellow looks good on you, Mr. Tulip. At any rate, one of the things that's happening, I'm just going to sidetrack just briefly here, is that the longer you're on here, the more you come back here, the more you will attach yourself to the various personalities that are here, and they become like family. Susan Campbell is like my sister. I really love her. Linda Jackson, who doesn't love Linda Jackson? Gina Kelly, who's going to be on here today. Not just the women, though, but Ron Murray and Bob and Carl. I really like Carl. I didn't know the other Carl, so maybe I saw fragments of that on occasion, but I've got fragments like that too. I used to look in the mirror and ask myself, who's creating these lines? How did that get there? Where did this one come from? Well, who's doing that? I don't want to get old, but I am getting old. And so, hey, maybe that's part of life. Maybe it's part of life. Maybe this is a map of what I've been thinking and how I've been acting. Well, that's a sidetrack. What this thing is teaching me about the limbic system is that the subconscious part of my body, the whole beingness of the body, is much more capable, much more reaching, much more understanding than this little chamber up here. And the more I pay attention to it, and the more I really read, Carl made the advice to us a couple of weeks ago, is when I first heard it. He maybe said it before, but it would really pay you to go through the 400 and some odd items that we have in our library, look at them all individually, maybe even start to memorize what they are and how they affect your body, because you can select those. And so as I begin to understand how to use this program in a better, more efficient manner for myself, not only do I feel better, not only do I have an ability somehow to manage any discomfort or any challenge that I may have, from anxiety to memory loss, things that really would concern me, to vision. I never thought I would ever get to where I could go a complete week without glasses or contacts and actually be able to see better. And that's happening to me because I took Cosmos's advice and said, okay, I'm going to try that vision. It seems to be helping her. And wow, it's a huge thing. Well, we've got how many of those huge things at our disposal in this natural food store that we own, and that we can tap into anything with very little, if any, expense at all. How can I've got some notes. I want to make sure I'm not missing something. What this is answering for me, and I think for you too, all of you, is first of all, the question, who am I? Who we are? Why am I? Why do I exist? Why do we exist? Why am I here? Well, why are we here? We're all here. Dan has this favorite thing I love, where it's not where we go. It's Dan, you might come in and say what it is.
What we can't do alone, we can do together.
Yes, that's a really treasurable statement, because I'm not alone in the world. I've got you guys, and I've got this wonderful, insightful program that's helping me change who I am and actually reach the levels of talent expression that I've always known were in me, but I've been so frustrated with in my mismanagement of myself. And So that answers where we're going. Where are we going? And as a human race, even, why are we here? How can we help? How can I help somebody I see hurting really bad over there? Or how can I lift somebody up in some way? Those are things that are being answered here. And boy, I don't know what it's taught you, but this COVID-19 lockdown, worldwide, people have lost their businesses already, unrecoverable. Families have been stretched to the limit in their anxiety, not getting along at all, probably child abuse and all kinds of bad things happening. But at the same time, it's a place and time in all of our lives where growth is forced on us. We either grow or we die. And boy, we've got a movie to live out. Our life is like a movie. Ron Spence calls it a hologram, but I call it a movie. And because I'm a writer, and so I can see in my imagination, I can kind of see the structure of life. And those things help me understand why we're here and what we're doing, and how this greater understanding of reality is really here to help us significantly, in fact. I pretty much have covered it, I think. Bob, have you got a thing to rope me in with?
No, and I appreciate your insight and what you've been sharing, Dwayne, because I think a lot of people, I've seen the chats that people are relating to that. And for time's sake, though, I'm going to move on so we can finish up on time here. Right. But thank you very much for being
I love all of you,
program.
Genuinely.
Thanks so much, Dwayne, for being on here. We appreciate you, man. And we'll talk later.